Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Note of Facts. I have a very interesting topic tonight. It's about bee pollen, that nutritional supplement, and medicinal properties of honey, bee pollen, propolis, and royal jelly. You'll get a surprise on what how much that helps. And also, you can substitute sugar and put that in your coffee and whatever cereal and whatever. The use of honey as a food and medicinal dates back to the earliest civilization, with archaeological records and sacred scriptures testifying to its intensive nutritional and healing properties. Honey-based prescriptions for treating wounds, burns, skin rashes. Chinese medicine, while the ancient Roman pharmacopoeia indicates raw, unfiltered honey, the most useful substance in the treatment of pneumonia, pleurisy, snake bites, affections of the mouth, inflictions of the mouth, according to the medical writings of the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates. Honey pollen can warm and clean sores and ulcers, soften hard ulcers of the lips, and heal carbuncles, running sores. In short, eating honey prolongs life, as noted by a Greek philosopher and scientist, Aristotle. Real honey is the oldest and indeed the healthiest sweetener used throughout the world, embraced by generations of civilizations and traditions of both ancient and the modern world. Today, many medical research is increasingly studying the therapeutic properties of honey, validating the long accumulated wisdom of Chinese herbalists. Since Hindu texts, early Egyptians etched on clay tablets the healing virtues of raw honey. Raw honey are attributed to its complex nutritional profile, which boasts over 200 distinct chemical compounds, including antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, antibiotic-rich protein complexes, phenolic compounds of viable biological and clinical importance. Each constitute an act of serving the key therapeutic functions ranging from cardioprotective to antibacterial. Through the psychochemical composition of honey may fluctuate depending on factors such as floral source and climatic conditions. Geographical region. Virtually all honey worldwide is supersaturated in sugar, so you don't want that. Fructose and glucose, low in pH and moisture, key proponents that account for honey's antibacterial and antiseptic efficiency. Of note, while sugar constitutes approximately 90 to 99% of honey dry factor, experimental and clinical studies show that the honey releases fructose slowly into the bloodstream, producing a high energy and homeostasis. Each honey contains deacerides such as sucrose, as well as triglycerides, that slow-burning sugars. These could fluctuate energy replenishment, muscle recuperation, enhancement of honey of performance in athletes nourished with honey. Likewise, mounting research indicates honey may be significantly improved body weight, blood lipids of diabetic subjects, as well as decrease blood glucose levels in hypoglycemia. Throughout the ages, empirical evidence have established honey as a potent antibacterial agent, generating interest in the modern clinical setting. Within the scope of microbial infection and colonization, emerging data confirms raw honey effectively inhabits a broad spectrum of bacterial specialties, including pathogenical oral and food spoilage bacteria. In fact, research conducted specifically on Mayuki tea tree honey demonstrated parasitical efficiency against several opportunistic and multiple resistant human pathogens. A recent study produced in the Journal of increased factors as far as vitamins, nutritional supplements, suggest topical applications of honey may facilitate in the healing of wound affection that do not respond to conventional therapies. Antibiotics, antiseptics study authors concluded. Honey is used as a natural antibiotic and can be used to cure infections as a substitute to conventional drugs. Proposed mechanisms responsible for this positive effect include hypogroscopically of honey, meaning it draws moisture out of the environment and dries bacteria, while high osmoticity, moderate acidity, and low-level hydrogen peroxide content prevent pathogens. Many raw honey is collected from the honeycomb. May offer certain deposits of bee pollen and propolis, which likewise exhibit medicinal properties ranging from antibacterial inflammation, although the field of anti-therapy or bee therapy logically focuses on the applications of raw honey in disease management and prevention. Growing bodies of literature, activity spotlight potent bioactivities, related honeybee products, which are equally relevant in modern day and folkloristic medicine. Commonly referred to bee glue, propolis is resonance mixture assimilation by honeybees from different plant sources are used as a sealant. In the construction of beehive as a natural disinfectant, propolis also can contribute as an antiseptic internal environment, ensuring optimal hive sterility and hygiene. Properties contributing to propolis antiseptic effects likewise have numerous applications in medicine, with particular emphasis in disease with bacterial fungi and viral organ, including upper respiratory tract infections and influenza. Oh, you learn something every day. Beyond the well-established antimicrobial benefits of propolis, new frontiers in apitherapy research are reporting hypoptoprotective, anti-diabolic, immunology, and anti-tumor actions, reinforcing the role of propolis as an efficient nuclear operating as on several viral health systems. Royal jelly. The propolis, and the propolis especially, and apple pectin, has been known as a natural penicillin, and it does work. It does work very well. As the name implies, royal jelly, a white yellowish glandular secretion is the excessive food of the queen honey larvae. Chemically, royal jelly is comprised of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, minerals, and vitamins, along with bioactive components like flavonoids. Response for royal jelly's naturally high nutritive potential, as noted in the Journal of Food and Science. Biological activities are Let's see. Mainly attributed to the phenolic compounds such as flavonoids. Flavonoids have been reported to exhibit a wide range of biological activities, including antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergenic, what else? Actions. In addition, flavonoids inhibit lipid oxidation, palate aggregation, capillary and fragility, and the acidity of enzyme systems included psychooxygenesis and lipid oscogenesis. Considering the extensive bioactivities of royal jelly, it has a broad commercial appeal. Today is utilized in special variety of sections, ranging from the dietary and pharmaceutical to cosmetics and manufacturing. Bee pollen. Bee pollen just referred to nature's only perfectly complete food. Naturally well balanced, contains all the essential amino acids required by human organisms. In fact, bee pollen contains more protein, 40%. There are animals in source, many assimilable amino acids. That cheese, eggs, cheese, beef, above equal weight. Pollen is characterized for its rich source of phenols, which contribute to potent antimicrobial, chemoprotective, free radicals scavenging, anti-inflammatory effects. Regarding the later magnitude of bee pollen capacity, inhibit swelling and edema. Is compared to such things as non-steroidal and anti-inflammatory drugs such as naproxen and domethacane. And in allergy research, intake of bee pollen demonstrates systematic antitoxic and anti-allergic actions on most cell functions, suggesting bee pollen's effectiveness against a wide range of respiratory diseases like honey, propolis, royal jelly. Bee pollen is both a functional and superfood and medicine, time-tested, proved to safely and effectively correct neurological imbalances as well as promote optional hearing. Karina Gordon specializes in medicine journalism and currently writes for a variety of commercial and peer-reviewed health publications. She is she's in a well-being journal and associated editor of, you can reach her at healthright.org. Benefits of propolis. Studies find intake that propolis from different ranges all share antibacterial activity. Another study reported that propolis from Europe, South America, China shows anti-tumor potential due to phenolic compounds. As a vitro study from Thailand, they found propolis possesses anti-tumor activity, shrinking cells cancer after 24 to 72 hours of treatment. Research published by the evidence-based complementary and alternative medicine found that polyphenols in propolis are connected to an ability to inhibit the growth of cancer cells. Well, I hope you got something out of that. Bee pollen is very, very, very good for you, whether you like to admit it or not. Here's a substance that costs next to nothing. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg like medication does. I have another one here. I found this on a special book put out by National Geographic. A wake-up call on water quality. 1/4 of Americans drink water from the systems that don't meet safety laws. All of us together can change that. When my young daughter says she's thirsty, it takes for granted, is taken for granted that the water from our kitchen tap is clean and safe. In fact, that what most Americans assume we should be. Should we? But should we? As we mark World Water Day on March 22nd, the distributing truth is that roughly 250,000 Americans drink water from systems that violate Safety Drinking and Water Act. Violations range from failing to properly be tested, allowing dangerous levels of lead and arsenic occur everywhere. And in rural communities and big cities, in the red states and blue ones, the lead contamination crisis in Flint, Michigan was extreme. Shocking, but because of the role of the race that played. However, it was not an isolated case. And we need to consider it as a natural nationwide wake-up call. Across the country, water systems water systems. Across the country, water systems are old, badly maintained, and in dire need of modernization. From Newark, New Jersey to silt and debris drinking water. Water after a rain in Austin, Texas. To fecal contamination in Penn Township, Pennsylvania. Worse, some of our managers by dysfunctional agencies where we're incompetent and sociological radical based may be determine whether a community is made sick by the drinking water. Well, this community is made sick by its drinking water. There's no doubt about that. How safe is unsafe? Depending on the source of contamination and exposure to health experts included neurological disease, development disabilities, and lead in children, and for lead interference with hormones, increased risk of cancers of skill bladder and kidneys. The Environmental Protection Agency regulates more than 90 contaminants, but 100 or more are tracked by so far unregulated. Everyone has a right to clean drinking water, no matter where you look like, what you look like, how much money that you make, in which political parties fit and you favor. In America, the right is enshrined in the Clean Water Act of '72, which defines EPA, regulates pollutants in the U.S. waters, and Safe Drinking Water Act, which establishes maximum amounts of pollutants in public water systems. These federal laws were passed at the peak of environmental degradation in our country, a time where smog choked our cities and rivers were so contaminated they regularly caught fire. Wow, that's something. Everyone has a right. Everyone has a right to clean water, no matter what you look like. I can tell you what a couple of people look like in this town. To clean water, no matter what you look like, how much money you make, or which political party you favor in America. The right is enshrined in Clean Water Act of '72, which defines how the EPA regulates water pollutants in the U.S. waters, and Safe Drinking Water Act 1974, which establishes maximum amounts of pollutants in all public water systems. These federal laws were passed at the peak of environmental degradation in our country, a time in where smog choked our cities and rivers were so contaminated they regularly caught fire. First time I heard that. Those laws and many other regulations in state and city levels have been made great progress toward reducing levels and addressing public health. Some of us now don't worry about toxicity of the air. For our children's afternoon soccer games on the flammable local river, primarily because of our environmental protection have worked. but in far too many places and around the country, those basic laws are being upheld or enforced. People are suffering from consequences. The worst in the nation, even before Hurricane Maria, 217. Analysis in my organization, the Natural Resource Defense Council, showed that almost all Puerto Rico's residents in 2015 got their drinking water from systems that violated the Safe Drinking Water Act. Nearly 70% of them got their tap from water from sources contaminated by chloroform bacteria, disinfectant, and byproduct. More. I'm going to say one thing about the bee pollen. It wouldn't hurt you to go down to a nature food. Don't buy them over the counter, because all your store-bought vitamins have styrofoam and junk in them, so they think you get a lot in the pill. And the liquid vitamin doesn't hold. Comes right up behind it. It's got junk in it. No factor at all for making it a safe vitamin to take. You got to go to a nature food store. The reason why you pay so much money is because it's natural. It comes from a natural place. There's a gentleman out here, I think in Northborough or Framingham. Across from that, there was a restaurant out there, White's Corners. There's a big pond to the left of it on the westbound side. Well, you go up that road, on top of the hill, there's a guy that got 1 million beehives, and he'll get you any kind of honey you want. He's one heck of a nice guy, and he's not expensive either. He's got a farm. He's got a little sign out in front, and it's about a mile and a half up the road. You can't miss it. But if Hippocrates and Aristotle took the time out to write about honey, it has its good properties about it. Honey and pollen causes warmth, cleans sores and ulcers, softens hard ulcers of the lips, heal carbuncles and running sores. In short, eating honey prolongs life, and as noted by the Greek philosopher, sacred scientist Aristotle, raw honey is the oldest and most healthy sweetener used throughout the world. Well, that's the truth of the matter. That's very, very, very true. Myself, I take a lot of vitamins. I feel like they've helped me quite a bit through my career as a construction worker. And vitamin C is very, very, very good. It makes a good antihistamine, and it's good for you when you have a cold or a sinus thing. But don't read the bottle on a couple of things. You got to take 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C in order to get the medicinal benefits of a cold, sinus, or something else, or breathing even. That's the problem. They put one on the bottle. One don't do you no good. But a lot of them are there, though. A lot of vitamins are there. And then the ones they say not to take, why do they still sell them? Vitamin E is very good. A good multivitamin is excellent for your whole system. And the way the water is today, and the way they process the food, please, the foods are rotten today. So you gotta realize that it's very, very good for you. You can buy one bottle. They come in 3 different sizes, a small one. Take it for a month and do tell me if they're any good. I know you're gonna feel a difference. Honey is very good for energy, for cleaning up spots all over your body and stuff like that. It's very, very, very good. Oh boy, let's see. Give me a minute here. Here's a real long article. I won't finish it because the show ain't that long. Children vaccine immune activation and the challenge of autism. Discussing vaccines and autism isn't an explosive topic, but it can be thermonuclear. Both sides of the argument feel with a great passion that health, well-being, of our children are at stake. Much of that passion is a product of several told repeatedly. These lies form a foundation of self-interested parties to deny, obscure, and disdirect the truth about what's happening to millions of children. The pit, well, mainly parents against well-meaning parents, remove the lies, and you're left with a deeply disturbing explanation on why so many children have autism, simultaneously out of the blue. Well, I'll finish this article next week, my next show, because it is quite extensive, and I'd advise you to get your pencils and papers out, which you won't, because I said so. Anything I say, you don't do. So I'll start the show and have someone else say that. How does that sound? I'll have someone else say to get your papers. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you listen to some good advice. See you next time. Thank you.